Such an attentive and skillful parent ensures that the chicks are well fed with fresh fish. Higher up on the branches, tits are after small caterpillars hiding between the leaves. They too commute to their nest in one of the hollows in an old oak tree. Here, 9 mouths are waiting to be filled. Having fed the chicks, the parents wait. They remove any droppings in the nest to keep it clean. Many animals use the shelter and protection of Yama-oyoji hollows to raise their young. But why do these trees all have large hollows, and how do they remain standing with such huge cavities? The answer is provided by the people of Satoyama. It is a long process that begins in autumn. Every autumn, farmers fell some of the older oak trees. They cut logs for firewood or to be used in the cultivation of mushrooms. Mushroom logs must be a particular length, and the farmer uses a bamboo stick to mark the place where he must cut. An old oak tree is felled without leaving any branches or leaves. Only the bottom of the trunk is left. These stumps may look lifeless, but changes will come. When spring arrives, the stump gives the first indication that it's still alive. Here it is. A tiny shoot sprouts straight out of the stump. It's called hikobai, which means grandchild sprout. Here's another one, and one more. New branches grow exceptionally fast. By midsummer, they can be 2 meters long. This old Yama-oyoji stump shared its life with its grandchildren. It continued to play an important role as the strong patriarch. Even this withered-looking stump spreads its branches vigorously. A tree can be cut every 15 years, and sections of the forest are felled in turn. The forest floor is exposed to sunlight for the first time in 15 years, and soon the cleared area is alive with new growth. As well as growth, there's also decay. Fungi establish themselves on old stumps, infecting them through their damaged or cut surfaces. They break down the wood inside the tree without causing much damage to the outer layers. A tree frog finds itself safety in a small cavity. As the cycle of cutting and rejuvenation is repeated, trees develop impressive hollows. When all the branches are covered with fresh green leaves, people return to the forest. farmers come to lay out cut logs for mushroom cultivation. Takaya is 70 years old. He and his wife have been producing shiitake mushrooms for 40 years. They now take the first step. They stack logs to prepare beds for mushrooms. All the logs have been inoculated with mushroom fungus beforehand. Almost all of them are the grandchildren of Yama-oyaji trees. The logs are neatly laid in traditional lattice formation. Number one enemy of shiitake is the strong summer sun. If the logs are exposed to the sun for too long, the mushrooms will die.
真上の直射が怖いわな。西日とな。チラチラと当たるのはいいんや。なあ。
The tree's leaves provide shade, permitting just a small amount of dappled light to fall on the logs.
So 人間がいてな、涼しいなと感じたら一番いい。赤子を育てるような思いや。あれ赤子の気持ちを親汲むわな。あれと一緒やろ。
The stacking technique that early shiitake growers developed is known as fusekomi and is unique to Japan. First of all, farmers let the cut logs stand in the woods for 2 years. Then they can be taken from the pile. They will provide sustenance for mushrooms for several years. Neatly laid, all is ready for the mushrooms to grow. Early summer. An Asiatic black bear appears in the forest, attracted by something within the hollow of a large tree. It's after honey. Honey and bee larvae are a special treat for bears. Using exceptionally strong claws and jaws, it rips off the bark to enlarge an opening so that it can get to the combs. Yet the tree's trunk is not easy to break into. Sometimes a bear has to visit a tree over several days to enlarge the holes sufficiently to get what he wants. He'll come back another day to get his rewards. Someone else is after the honey. This is Matsubara, who set a trap box earlier in the spring. He's hoping that a swarm of honeybees will have colonized his box beside the huge buckeye tree. His box that he set under the tree has fallen down the slope. It seems honeybees did settle within the box, but the nest was raided, and he knows who the thief was.
今回はもう完全にわしの負けやな。
Very little of the comb remains, but after all, the forest is bare territory too. Back at Matsubara's home, there is some good news. He made another box and set it under the eaves of his house. It has successfully attracted a colony of honeybees.
よう帰っとるな。うちの家服を持ち込んでくれたんや、これはな。
Matsubara will wait until autumn to harvest the honey. Their nest will have grown much larger by then. It's June. The rainy season is approaching. With so much rain this season, farmers can expect a good crop of rice in the autumn. The rain is also important for the logs stacked near the Yamaoyaji trees. Raindrops fall from the leaves and soak the logs below. Rainwater is essential to stimulate the growth of the shiitake fungus. White patches show that the fungus is now established. It's already spreading through the log, feeding on nutrients in the wood. Soon they will be covered with mushrooms. These logs are now spent. They were cut down 5 years ago and have produced many kilograms of mushrooms. They're taken to a dumping site at a corner of the forest. Here they will be left to decay so that their remaining nutrients are returned to the soil. Late at night, the dumping site attracts some other